Manchester United 4, Bournemouth 4, another 2 points dropped at home. I mean, it was a crazy match. I don't think anybody had 4-4 on their scorecards today. Certainly I didn't. And, you know, I mean, where do you really even start with these guys? I mean, I was asking for more goals. I didn't really mean more goals in total. I meant more goals for us. I meant for us to score more goals. I didn't mean to allow the opposition to score 4 goals and cut through us like butter. And, we were out there. Our defense was like Bonnie Blue, legs wide open, just completely exposed. So much space, nothing really to fucking do. And, dude, we just I can't even really understand what we were doing defensively. I mean, we were a disaster. And, listen, Ruben Amorim, I think he took too long to make the changes that needed to be made because Areola changed the tactics in the first half, in the 30 minutes, and after they changed that, we sort of struggled to deal with it because they were playing, number one, their shape was crazy. I can't even tell you the shape it was. And, I'm sitting there, I'm watching the match, and I'm looking at it like, it just constantly felt like Bournemouth had 15 people on the pitch and we had 9, And I'm just like, you're not going to get away with this. You're not going to survive this. And I think the biggest thing is listen, Kobe came on and Kobe plays that position better than Bruno Fernandes can play that position. Bruno Fernandes cannot play in the midfield in the position he's playing in. And I don't care anymore. I don't give a shit. He needs to move him out of there. Okay? And I don't care what preconception he has of Kobe. I'd rather see Kobe play next to Casemiro in the midfield, and I'd rather watch us lose if that happens. I don't give a shit because Bruno cannot play there, man. That midfield was dysfunctional, which was leading us to getting exposed defensively, and the defense was exposed already. I mean, in the first half, we're playing with a young, inexperienced defensive side. We have a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old playing defense with a guy that we turned into a center back who is a left back that plays center back. And the midfield it doesn't do its job in terms of it was getting overrun, it was getting outplayed, it was getting beat. Like we were not winning the second balls. And we conceded at least 3 goals because of that. We conceded at least 3 goals because the midfield was fucking just, there's like a massive hole in it and it's getting outnumbered and it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's not winning the balls back. It's not cutting out passing lanes. So I'd rather see Kobe Mainoo come in. If he can't play, I don't give a shit. He can't play. Let's lose. But I don't want to see Bruno there anymore. Because Bruno, he lacks composure. He can't play there. He doesn't tackle. Kobe can at least challenge. He can head the ball, and he brings composure. That midfield doesn't have composure because Bruno is in it. Okay? That midfield doesn't have composure because Bruno's in it, and Bruno doesn't have composure. Bruno needs to be put in the position where he plays best, which is the final attacking third. So whatever you got to do, Ruben, to do that, now you have maybe a good opportunity because this is Mbeumo and Diallo's last game. So you're going to have to do something different and you're going to have to change it up. Box is here, says, Eric, we are pathetic. Heaven is nowhere good enough for Premier League football. The front 3 have no composure. But we scored 4 goals. For me, today is on the defense. Today it's midfield defensive day because we scored 4 goals. We shouldn't need to have to score 5 or 6 or 7 against Bournemouth playing at home. Could we have done so? Sure. But it's not needed. It's not needed because we should be, if we score 4, we should be able not to concede 4 today at home to Old Trafford. At home at Old Trafford against Bournemouth. So, listen, could they have scored more goals? Yeah. But my big issue and my big problem with that is that we still put 4 in the net today. That's, for me, 4 is enough. 4 is enough. The problem is that we conceded 4 today. And again, it's because that defense and that midfield was doing its best Bonnie Blue impression with its legs wide open, spread open for everybody. Everybody have a go. It's your turn. You want a goal? You want a goal? You want to have a go? You want to run straight through the middle? Listen. It's just first we can't score goals. We struggle to create opportunities, but then we're okay defensively. Like we're only conceding a goal or two or whatever it is. Then today we figure out how to put the ball into the net 4 times. We could have put the ball into the net more times because we had a lot of good opportunities and we fluffed a lot of very good opportunities, good chances. We kicked the ball over the net a couple times from some very good crosses and positions in the center of the box. But then the midfield and the defense just shits itself. And, the defenders didn't want to learn. They made the same runs and they made the same plays on like 2 or 3 of the goals. They made the same runs and the same plays to the center of the pitch and nobody's picking them up. Nobody has any urgency back there that they're like, hey, I should pick this guy up because he's running into a dangerous position and they've already scored on us and they're probably going to score again if I don't fucking do it and get in the correct position of defending. They're not goal side. They're not keeping up with the runners. They're not tracking. And then they cut right through us like butter and they're like, oh, they want to look around. Oh, they're looking at each other going like this. Oh, Luke Shaw's staring into the fucking sky, wondering what's gone wrong. Jesus. And Buemo had been woeful for 6 games. Well, he's fucking off now. I mean, he's gone. So, we had 30 chances. Andresito says, we can't keep playing players out of position. This is a joke. I mean, I don't want to see Bruno in that midfield. That's my one major criticism of him. My one major criticism that has always been of him. I don't like Bruno there. I don't want Bruno to be there. I think he's making a massive mistake with Bruno being there. And I think he should fucking change that. That's my one major criticism of him. I think he's got that totally wrong. And I think it's going to kill him. I think Bruno Fernandes in that position is his Harry Maguire. It's his fucking Anthony. It's his Marcus Rashford. It's his equivalent of whatever, manager that came before him that had some weird obsession with one weird player in one specific position, playing him all the time, regardless of how it works. I don't want to see Bruno Fernandes there. I don't want to see him there. Listen, he scored a fucking beauty of a free kick. He put his back into the lead. Okay? He stepped up as a captain in the time that we needed him to step up. But it's a free kick in the opposition's half. It has nothing to do with him playing in the midfield. It has nothing to do with how the midfield is operating. It has nothing to do with how the midfield is doing their job in terms of a large part of the game. Bournemouth came there to play. They came to score. They came to win. They came to attack. They didn't sit back. We're not playing fucking West Ham. We're not playing Nottingham Forest, Dyche, or we're playing Wolves or whatever it is. We played a team that wanted to come and play football and play attacking football. And it was a good game of football. And there was a lot of space. But when we play these matches, and I've said this like 20 times, there are matches where you can play Bruno Fernandes next to Casemiro in the midfield and you will get away with it. Because you just can. But when you play a team like we played today, who play good football, and there is space, and when there is space, we are going to get absolutely run and exposed through. Just like how they were getting exposed, because they left a lot of space as well, but we were getting absolutely ran through and exposed because of the space. And what we needed there was we needed a couple things. Number one, we didn't need Bruno there. We needed somebody with composure. Number two, he needed to change it way earlier because they changed the formation and they were playing some weird... I can't even tell you what the actual formation was because every time I looked at the pitch, if we had the ball in their half, it felt like they had 15 players. When they had the ball in our half, it felt like they had 15 players. There was so much space and they had so much bodies and our players were all over the place isolated and not in the position to win the second balls. We lost all the second balls after the 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes, we were killing them. We were killing them. They were sloppy. We were dominating the game. They changed the formation and the way that they're playing, and we're getting outnumbered all over the pitch. And you're just not going to win like that. You're not going to win like that. And we didn't win like that. We ended up drawing, and we dropped 2 points at home. So Ray says, for me, Kobe did very good. Well, he came in, he did his job. I mean, he brings some composure. That's the one thing that the kid definitely has. If you want to, contemplate how good he is or argue whatever it is, the number one thing he has is Kobe has more composure in that squad than every single other player on the pitch. He has the most composure out of everybody. There's not one person in this squad that has more composure or the same level of composure as him. So we can argue about how actually good he is and how well he could do the position. But number one thing, he has the most composure out of everybody. There's not a single player in that United team that has the same level of composure as him. And you know what? Composure is a big aspect, especially if you play in the midfield. But our team lacks composure. We lack composure sometimes in the attacking areas. We lack composure in defense. We lack composure in the midfield. We lack composure all over the place. All over the place. We've been conceding for fun since Maguire's been out. Well, listen. I mean, we tried to experience it up a little bit. He took off Euro. He got on Martinez. He had Shaw there. He shifted Delo out to the right-hand side. He shifted some things around. Now, I think that change worked to a certain degree. Like, when he made that change and he started shifting all the positions and shifting where they're sitting and how they're playing, I think it countered what Bournemouth did in the 30th minute of the first half. I think it countered it and made it better for us. We still ended up conceding a goal to lose the lead and ultimately drop 2 points. But I think if he made that earlier, and I was asking him, I don't know what you got to do. I didn't have the answers. I didn't know. I'm not a tactician. But I said, I was like, dude, I don't know what he's got to do. But at the minimum line, he's got to do something. Something's got to change, because you could just see, like, whatever Areola did, the formation they had, the amount of bodies that they had in key areas of the pitch, we started losing the battle. And when you lose the battle and you're not able to fight back, you're never gonna succeed. And I mean, look how it turned out. We've conceded 2 at Forest and Spurs with De Ligt. Maguire, the real missing link, offers experience and leadership and focus. Well, I mean, I don't really want to go down that route, because I think it's going to start massive argument. But I mean, listen, we played with 2 younger, inexperienced guys in the back, and the back was a mess today. And the midfield was the same experienced, and they didn't do their job. But the back, listen, 19, 20-year-old, and I really do think this is why he's chosen to go with these experienced guys. But I just think that he has that midfield wrong. I think that midfield is wrong. And I think he's getting it wrong, because he's preferring the experienced, and he's thinking, and he's saying, I'm going to use the experience in Bruno and Cass in that midfield. But it doesn't work, because Bruno doesn't have the qualities to do that job, man. He doesn't. And it just doesn't function properly. I don't want to make it seem like, I'm trying to kill Bruno Fernandes here, but because it's not really Bruno's fault, because Bruno's not fucking picking himself to be in that position. It's Ruben who's picking him to be there. It's Ruben who's telling him to play there. So, if Bruno doesn't get the job done there, and the midfield is failing, ultimately, that situation, it ain't on him, because everybody in the mom knows that he ain't the guy to be playing there. He ain't the guy to be playing there, The attackers are at full 2. They should have put us 3 or 4-0 up. Well, yeah, I mean, at the time, yeah. I mean, when we were 1-0 up, we should have been up at 2 at least. But I don't know if it changes much the way the game went, because I'm looking at it and I'm looking how Bournemouth are playing, and I'm looking the opportunities that Bournemouth get, and I'm just like, even if we scored 4, if we were up 4-0, I don't know if the game actually changes into the detriment that Bournemouth just fucking give up and they go away, and we totally just control it and dominate. I feel like the way the game went and how open it was and the way Bournemouth play, I think even if they put us up 3-4-0, the way we played midfield defensively, the whole team in terms of when you give the ball away back, some guys are sprinting back, some guys are fucking jogging back. They're not getting back. There's not an alertness back there. There's not, I think they still score these goals. To me, it would almost be similar to Brighton. We'd go up 3. We're still going to concede playing like that. We're going to concede 3 or 4 for sure. Our finishing conversion rate is pitiful. Well, that is true. That is true. Eric Mano in the sentiment too will get plowed through. I don't care. I'll watch it happen. I'd rather watch that happen than watch this, because whatever we're doing now doesn't work for sure. So if it happens, then it happens. I'd rather him put Kobe there and watch him get plowed through than have Bruno play there every week and watch them get plowed through. I don't believe in doing the same thing over and over and over again if it doesn't work. It's literally the definition of insanity. And I don't want to be insane, and I don't believe in insanity. So we all know Bruno doesn't belong there. We all know Bruno's best position. We see how this isn't a plan. Bruno being there is not a thing that you are going to survive in a Premier League season. It's just not survivable. It's just not something that can be consistent enough for us to get results. And today we needed 3 points. Today we dropped another 2 points. Today we failed another opportunity. We could have went level on points, and he's running out of chances. He's running out of opportunities. At some point, he's going to stop having these opportunities to be, in this conversation. And this is the 5th time, and we've blown it 5 times now. 5 times we've blown this. How many more chances is he going to get at this? I don't think there's a lot, because we see in Villa, and I guarantee you there's another 1 or 2 teams that they're going to start hitting this. And I'm getting worried about the January transfer window, because it seems like we might not do as much business as we definitely need to do. And we need to do business. And the other teams will definitely do business, because they always do, and we always don't, really. And I think after the January period, depending on what happens, but if we do normal United things and we don't do what we do and everybody else does because they run properly and we tend to not do so, then I think after January, I think you're going to start seeing that gap is going to start getting wider, especially if we don't sort our shit out. Love attacking football, no defense. Not when my team is playing. Not when I'm watching my team concede 4 goals. I don't want to see my team concede 4 goals. I like attacking football, but not when my team is playing. I don't want to see my team concede 4 goals. They shouldn't be conceding 4 goals. Should never happen. Bruno had his moment and nothing else. Well, listen. Bruno shouldn't be playing in that position. It's not his position. It's not his position. Everybody knows. You can ask any Manchester United fan. They could be Ruben in, Ruben out, Ruben indifferent, Ruben bisexual, whatever it is. You can ask them. They will all tell you that Bruno doesn't belong there. So nobody cares specifically if it's the manager in and out. Everybody knows he doesn't belong there. He doesn't belong there. He had some good passes. He had some good interaction with play, but all of that comes in the final third. It has nothing to do with the defensive half. And when you play in the midfield 2 in that position, we're talking about Kobe can't play there because we'll get plowed, we'll get ran through. We're getting ran through right now. I don't see the difference. I don't see the difference. Might as well try it. And if it fails, it fails. And then just say, fuck it. There's nothing we could do about it. Let's go buy a midfielder. Let's go get Conor Gallagher or some shit so that it stops happening. But at this point, it's like, I don't know. Well, I keep seeing it happen with Bruno, so let's just not put Kobe there because we just already know that it's going to happen. Might as well just do it. Well, what difference does it make? What difference does it make other than you have a slight percentage of chance that maybe it doesn't happen? Because we've seen Bruno play this position enough in that midfield. So we know what it is. We know it's inconsistent. We know that it'll never be consistent. We know that it doesn't work. So Why not? Why not just put Kobe in there? And if it gets overrun through, it makes no difference. It's getting overrun through with Bruno playing there. You know, it makes literally zero difference. It makes zero difference at all. Maino played in the center mid 2 last season, and we got plowed through easily. We're getting plowed through right now, though. You know, I don't see what what the argument is. I'd rather have my argument for it is I would rather have a guy in there that has composure, because Bruno doesn't have composure. He does not have composure to be playing in that thing. So if we're getting plowed through, and we're getting plowed through either way, I'd rather have a guy that actually has composure and get plowed through than a guy that doesn't have composure and get plowed through. Because we're getting plowed through either way, apparently. With Bruno there, we get plowed through. And if we put Kobe in there, we're getting plowed through. Well, I'd rather have the guy that has the most composure. Because maybe it'll help us in a different area or in a different way. If we have a little bit of composure, maybe we won't give the ball up so much. Maybe we'll be able to create a little bit better out of it or something like that. I think it'll add a different dynamic if you have somebody with a little bit more composure. I would like to see Bruno just play in his position up where he belongs, because that's where he does his best and he has the biggest impact. Every time Bruno has a big impact, it's not because Bruno is cutting out passing lanes, defending, and he's doing such a great job on the defensive side of the midfield. It's because when he gets forward and we're in the final third, that's where he makes things happen. So I would like Bruno to just be there. Amorim got out-strategized again, says Andresito. Stop the Maino hype. It's not Maino hype. I just watched him play, and he has more composure than everybody on that pitch. You just talked about how we can't score goals, we're blowing chances, the midfield losing balls, not being able to handle what's going on. They can't win the balls back. The defense doesn't. Nobody did. You know, the whole thing is a lack of composure. Kobe comes on, he's just calm. It's just what he is. He's calm. The guy has a calmness about him. He gets the ball in his feet. He has a calmness about him. He's confident. He'll make the pass, and he'll go. He's got other things that he's got to work on, but composure ain't one of them. That's for sure. If the game lasts another 20 minutes, Bournemouth looked like scoring easy. Well, maybe, but, you know, it didn't last another 20 minutes, so it is what it is. Top attackers put the game to bed. Yeah, but we still conceded the goals in the manner that we conceded. I mean, we went up 2-1 at halftime. We have the lead. We came out in the second half. We gave up 2 goals in 5 minutes. So, again, you know, I don't feel like it's right to ask for my attackers to be scoring 6-7 goals. Why do they got to do that? How about we just not concede 4 at home? How about we just not be open in the back? Because we put 4 in the net. I think 4 is fine. Maybe 5. And 5 would have probably gave us the win. But I feel like it's a bit ridiculous that we need to score 5. We scored 4. 3 should be good enough if we do our defensive work properly, but we don't. We didn't. In the first game versus Arsenal, we outplayed them but couldn't finish. Yeah, we did. And now, if we play Arsenal now, with that midfield, they're going to run right through us. Cunha 2 goals in 23 games. Buemo played worse tonight than Hoyland Anthony. Yeah, he didn't have a good game. We can't defend. Maino was brilliant and controlled the midfield. He was so calm and mature. Well, this is what I'm saying. You know, he might not have the defensive capabilities, but that argument doesn't hold fucking water for me anymore. It doesn't, because if we're getting run through with Bruno, I'm telling you, Kobe has way more composure than he does. And I'd rather have the guy that has more composure. You're talking about the midfield. It's literally a key stat. Literally a key stat all over the place, because you need composure as a striker, as a finisher. You need composure as a winger. You need composure as a defender. You need composure as a goalkeeper. You need composure in every position you play. But for me, if it's Bruno and we're getting run through, or Mainu and is getting run through, while Kobe has more composure than him. So I take a bit extra composure in the midfield, and maybe it plays to our benefit in some way, you know, because there's not much other than we can do other than that. That's the only difference. I mean, nobody's going to advocate to put in Manuel Ugarte in that position because that's not going to help us. That's not going to help our case. You know, we already have Cass, and now Cass is suspended, by the way. So he just got that yellow card that suspended him. So now on the next match, we are without Mbeumo Diallo, Mazawari, and Casemiro, and we're playing Villa. So, and we dropped 2 points at home today. So repercussions. Talked about it. Now, you know, I don't know. They can go and do a job against Villa, or we can lose that match. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, you missed an opportunity to get 3 points here. Again, at home, we dropped 2 points. We missed a chance to be level on points with Chelsea, but level on points with Crystal Palace, I believe, which is, they're right below Chelsea. But, you know, we didn't do ourselves any favors in terms of, it's still massively tight. We could have had a 2-point gap, which is not a huge gap, but at least it's a gap. Now we're just on level par with everybody else. And we have 2 tough matches in that Villa and then Newcastle. And Newcastle's on Boxing Day. So, yeah, we're in 6th, 26 points. We went back above Liverpool because the goal difference stayed the same. And we still have the same. And right now it's literally it's a 4-way tie. Palace have 26, we have 26, Liverpool have 26, and Sunderland have 26. So 4 teams level on points. Chelsea with 28. We need to defend this on Maino mentality. Well, listen. I don't want to make this a huge argument but we played with 2 young guys in the back, and the back was very messy today. And it wasn't the whole reason why the back was very messy today, but surely I don't think it's as messy if you have Mateus de Ligt in there, and maybe one of them, I think it's not as messy. I think even if you have Harry Maguire, but I think a match for Maguire today like this, I don't think would be very good, because I think he would get exposed by the pace. They would just, you know, just like how they were running past people there. But maybe his positioning is better because he's experienced, you know, and De Ligt's positioning is better because he's experienced. I thought Heaven had some good moments in the game, but, you know, those goals, we got exposed there. And, you know, that one specific goal was both of them. It was both Lenny and it was both Heaven. They both fucked up. I mean, Lenny was in no man's land and Heaven wasn't in the correct position, didn't track properly, and they scored from it. So we have, you know, we play these 2 young guys in the back, and I think this is why he's been going for these experienced guys. I just disagree with the midfield, is this whole thing. I think the rest of the guys, you gotta hope that they actually put the levels that they're supposed to, because they're experienced. But I don't think any of these other kids that we haven't seen, I mean, when you compare both Heaven, you know, and Euro to these other kids, I mean, they're far off from them. They have way less experience. I think these guys can get the job done for us. I don't think they can. Vaping is dangerous. Yeah, so is everything else I've done in my life, though. Don't worry about it. We need never should have trusted the baffling baboon. We needed to stop playing a 3 in the back. We need Mainu as an 8 and Bruno as a 9. Everyone can see that, for the love of God. Scalvini. Yeah, I don't think Scalvini's gonna save us in that situation either. He's also a young guy. 26, close to Liverpool. We're the same points as Liverpool, but Liverpool are shit. I mean, Liverpool, if you ask anybody, everybody's saying Liverpool is shit, so it's nothing to really, you know, I'm not looking at Liverpool. I don't give a fuck about Liverpool this season at all. I mean, Liverpool are fucking, they're below us still. You know, I'm looking at the teams that actually look like they're going to be competing, you know, at the top, which is Chelsea, Villa on a run, there's City, and then there's Arsenal. And we keep dropping points and points and points. I mean, listen, if you took 2 out of the 3 or 2 or 3 out of the 5 opportunities we had, you know where we would be right now? We'd be above Manchester City. We'd be right up Arsenal's ass right now. We would be in second if we got the points that we have failed to get. Okay? We losing to Everton 10 men. We didn't even get a point from that. That's 3. Okay? We should have... We dropped 2 points to West Ham. That's 5. We needed to go win today. We dropped another 2 points. That's 7. That would have put us... I don't even know how to redo the math, but you get what I'm saying. And then you got Tottenham and you got Forest, which are matches that everybody said that we felt like we should have won. We blew them. You know, all these matches, even if, you know, to say 5 out of 5, I think it's a little bit, you know, extreme because it's football and shit happens. So two or three of them out of the 5. And we would be in a way grand position right now. And we've blown it every time. Every single time we've blown it so far. And the thing is, he's not going to get many more opportunities like from this happening. The way this is happening, the way that this is, that, you know, we're in 6th, we're on 26th, we're 2 points off of Chelsea right now. Okay, but how long is that going to happen? Because we keep missing opportunities, and all it takes is two of these teams to do what Villa did, and we continue the way we are, and they're going like this, and we're going like this. And then it gets to a point where we're going to be down here, the gap's going to get very big, we're going to get further away from it, and then it's game over. Then it's game over. It's actually game over. Then it's actually game over. We are tied as second best attack in the league. We can't defend though. We are, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I know we're creating chances. I've been saying we've been creating chances since the third game of the season. We have been creating a shit ton of chances. We have been we've done well to score some goals, but actually the number of chances we've created, we should be scoring way more. We should actually be probably the number 1 attacking team, like ranked in terms of scoring goals. Because we're literally like, we're up there with Arsenal and City in terms of attack. The only thing is our conversion rate is shit. You know, our conversion rate is shit compared to the others. That's the one caveat of that whole thing. Like, our attack might be ranked high, yeah, because we create shit ton of chances. And sometimes we score a few goals. But when you look at it, the conversion rate for how many chances we're creating, and then shots on target, and then how many shots on target are going into the net, you know, it's not good. So we're missing that key area, but the rest of it around it is quite good. It's just that one final part of conversion. But defensively, we've had a problem. I mean, it is a problem. Like everybody knows. Listen, we know every match we play, we know we're conceding. We know we're conceding. We know a goal is happening. That right there is the biggest indication. That's all the indication that you need to tell you that we clearly have a problem defense. And the defense problem is because there is a midfield problem. And they go hand in hand. The midfield, if the midfield can't help the defense is going to struggle. And then the defense, they got to do 2 jobs. So they got to help themselves, and then they're going to have to help the midfield. And most likely or not, like, this is the Premier League. It's a high-quality league. You're going to get exposed. You're going to get exposed that way. And that's what's happening. We've been getting exposed defensively. So Ruben should open his eyes and learn from the changes he did. Well, listen, I think for the upcoming matches, I mean, there was a lot of talk today about he's going to play a 4-3-3. But I never for once believed that it was going to happen today, because I think the only reason a 4-3-3 is coming about is because we're losing Mbeumo and Diallo. And if you look into the squad, there is no replacement for Mbeumo. There is no replacement for Diallo. And what I mean by that is the qualities they have and the way they play football, the dribbling abilities, crossing, passing, speed, all of it. There's no direct replacements for them. So we don't have other players like them that have those qualities. We don't. So he's going to have to change something. Now, I would be amazed if he actually does a 4-3-3 and he makes a wide 4-3-3, because wide 4-3-3s involve wingers, and we don't have wingers. The wingers are gone. So we have 2 wingers at this football club, and the name is Diallo and Mbuemo, and they're not going to be around. So how do you play a 4-3-3 with no wingers? We don't have wingers. I don't want to see fucking Mount playing a winger. I don't want to see Bruno playing winger. I don't want to see any other player play winger, because we don't have wingers. So if he's going to make a change, it's got to be something that I guess has to be without wingers or something. It's got to be narrow. 4-3-1-2, 4-3-2-1. If he even does that, maybe the report is wrong. I don't know. We got a report saying that he spoke to them after Wolves and said that there's going to be some changes to the formation or the system going forward or something like that, and that he's going to play a 4-3-3. I don't know if that's true. We'll find out when we get to the next match, because we're going to be without those players, and we're going to see if he changes it. But I don't know. But I think for me, I'm tired of the midfield. So we need to go. Good night, Glazers out. We'll see you later, Axe. Eric, defense issues. No Mateus Delit. Calm back line down. Make headers. The game was the best entertainment in the Premier League so far. I mean, listen, it was very entertaining. Okay, it was a very good, entertaining game of football. But I don't like my team conceding 4 goals in the manner in which they conceded 4 goals. I mean, I don't want to see them do it. I like that Bournemouth came out to attack. I give them every credit. Him. I give their players. I give their team. I give the manager of Bournemouth a lot of credit, because I respect guys that, Bournemouth isn't the biggest. They're not the biggest team. They don't have to play like that, but they do play like that, and they do it well. And they actually play a game of football. I don't really like when teams play this defensive shit. I get it, because sometimes it's just a golfing class, and like, I was watching the Arsenal games with my buddies the other day. They're Arsenal fans, and I was watching it with them, and they're complaining. They're like, this fucking Wolves, like, they're just sitting back. And it was a boring game. It was fucking boring. They were falling asleep. I was falling asleep. It was boring game of football, because it's just Arsenal for like 90 minutes trying to make something happen, and they can't put 2 passes together. They can't, they didn't have a shot on target for about 65 minutes of the match. And they have Wolves just sitting there, just not moving. So it's boring as fuck, and I hate it. Like, it's negative football to me. I didn't even call it football, because that's not football. That's like training almost. It's like one team trying to do something, the other team sits back. But at the same time, I get it, because it's Arsenal, the top of the league, and Wolves is the bottom of the league, and they need a point against Arsenal's 25 points for them. So I get it, but I still say attack is the best defense, and I think a lot of the times you fucking try and defend, and most of the, like 90% of the time, it doesn't even work out. I mean, you look at all these teams that try to do defensive low blocks, and most of the time they end up conceding, and most of the time they don't even win the matches. So I always think that it's fucking stupid anyway. But I'm resting Cunha, Mason, Mount, Diego, Delo, Bruno, Fernandez, Xerxes, 4-3-2. I mean, we'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. Let me get over here. Let me check out, some of the quotes after the match. Amorim was asked on whether Manchester United were playing with 4 at the back at times. He said, that is for you to discuss, not for me. I know you guys know we trained this week with the back 4. Interesting. Amorim says people are enjoying Manchester United more than last season, but you have to combine the 2, defense and attack. He said, I think we lost the 2 points in the first half. We should have more goals, and it should be a different result at halftime. We suffered 2 goals really fast. We need to close the game. Well, I mean, Bach said something like that, and even I said that at that time as well. Like, we should have had more than one. We shouldn't have let that happen. We shouldn't have let them score that goal like that in that manner. We gave them that first goal. That was all on us. That wasn't anything that has to do with Bournemouth's pattern of play or style of play. We put the ball in a bad area. We gave the ball away bad. It was in a bad position that left us exposed because everybody was high up. There was nobody back. Ruben Amorim on Lemons says Lemons did very well. There were opportunities for both sides. We created more. We need to find ways of closing the games because this happened many times. Well, yeah, I mean, there's been too many times where, like, we haven't killed off the games. And Scholes talked about it, but I think he was trying to say it in a different way. And I think Ruben is talking about it that he knows this. Like, and this is why I don't agree when he says he doesn't understand the club, because I mean, fucking Ruben's been here saying this for, like, I don't know how many times. Like, how many times is he saying? Like, he wants them to kill off the game. He wants it to happen. He knows it. He's not fucking stupid. He's not like, I don't know, I like defense. He's not saying that. He comes after every game and he says, like, we need to kill off the game. We need to kill off the game. And he's telling that to us. You don't think he's telling that to them when he's doing the training? So, they don't fucking get it. These guys don't get it. They are incapable of fucking carrying it out. They are incapable of carrying it out. Michael Carrick speaking. I don't know where he was. I guess he was on TV today. But Michael Carrick saying Manchester United have suddenly become very dangerous going forward. And there's excitement about it. I was getting excited, and the players must feel that. The supporters feel that. Next step is to do that, get ahead in the game, and then manage the game. Well, at least Michael Carrick, maybe Michael Carrick understands a little bit more because he's actually a decent manager, unlike some of these other guys that want to go on and talk a bunch of fucking bullshit. Meanwhile, they couldn't even manage, a single team. So, there's certain players here. Listen, I respect them when they speak out. I think David Beckham is very, very good when he speaks and says things because he's positive. I don't think he throws extreme criticism. And I don't think he says shit just to say shit. And, Michael Carrick's coming out saying things as well. Like, he's not attacking the manager. He's not attacking the players. He's trying to be positive, and actually he's looking at it from a side of, listen, the attack is dangerous and can be very dangerous. And maybe we could even turn it up a notch or two in that regard and be even more dangerous and more clinical. And, but we need the defensive side. And we need to manage the game as well. And today we didn't manage the game. So Casemiro suspended. Yep, Casemiro is suspended officially for Manchester United's game against Aston Villa on Sunday after he was booked tonight. So I don't know what he's gonna do, and I don't know what's gonna happen. But listen, Manuel Ugarte didn't touch the pitch again. So I don't know what we do now. Maybe he does do a midfield three. Specifically for next match as well, because Ugarte is clearly not favored. I mean, he put Mainu on for Casemiro, and we've always said that Ugarte is the defensive player that we're going for Casemiro. He put on Kobe Mainu. So Ugarte is way out of favor. I don't think Ugarte has a future at this football club at all. I think actually, because he's not English and he didn't come from the youth academy, so nobody gives a shit that he's not playing and nobody's even actually talking about it. But I think Ugarte is totally done at this football club. I think Ugarte doesn't have a chance at this football club. I think Kobe Mainu has a chance. I think Ugarte is done and dusted. It's his former player. He's not playing him to the slightest bit. He's not even giving him a whiff. So, and we'll find out even more next week because, I mean, there's no cast. So what you do? I mean, listen, if you try to play Maino and Bruno as a midfield two against Aston Villa, rest in peace. Because that ain't going to work like that. So, And I think if you try Ugarte and Bruno, it's not going to work. I've already seen it doesn't work. It doesn't work with the way Bruno plays. Ugarte doesn't have what Cass has. And Cass is an old man in terms of that. And thankfully, his level in terms of like IQ and defensive abilities and defensive IQ is good enough. It's his legs that are a problem and that he's not so young and not as mobile. If he had a 25, 24-year-old Casemiro, maybe we would be totally fine because he'd be able to run around and literally do everything and he'd be all over the place. But, thankfully Cass is, he's excellent, like, Real Madrid top player. So he has the IQ for the position. The mobility is just a bit of an issue, which sometimes hurts us. But he's not available. So it's like, what are you going to do? Because I don't trust that midfield. I don't trust that. I don't trust going into Villa and lining up with Maino and Bruno. I don't trust that midfield lining up with Ugarte and Bruno. But I don't even trust it if you put Maino and Ugarte. I think the best thing that we need is we probably just need to pack it and put 3 guys in there. The problem with that is you put 3 guys in there, we don't have substitutes for it. So there is no substitutes. Maybe you got to call up like a Tyler Fletcher or a Jack Fletcher or something. I don't know. But there's no subs. So when we go and play the 3, somebody gets injured, somebody's having a shit game, or somebody's, out of breath, done. What do we do? Who'll be subbing in the midfield? Maybe Mason Mount, I guess. But Mount is part of the offense. I don't know. He might be the only one. Let's see what Areola said about Manchester United's system. He said the same system they always play, but they adapt depending on who you put to mark them. It's a very flexible system. Don't say that, Areola. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Our fans don't want to hear that. It's rigid. It's rigid. It's rigid. It's as rigid as a fucking stone. Don't say it's flexible. You're gonna get all the Twitter tactical people. You're gonna get them all angry. You're gonna get them all angry by saying that. Don't say that. Don't say that, Ariel. Don't call it flexible. Don't say that. You're gonna upset them. Ruben Amorim, we dominated and created so many chances. We should have gone into the locker room with a different result at halftime. They kind of said that. Hey, listen, on the bright side, at least we have Wolves again in 2 weeks, yeah? At least we have Wolves. Here's a statistic for you. Manchester United have kept 6 clean sheets in 43 Premier League games. That is a 14% ratio. And I guess they put that specifically on Ruben. Yeah, I think massively the biggest problem is quite clearly his midfield. And I question them as to why they didn't figure out how to get a midfielder in, I question to them as how they didn't get a midfielder in the summer. Because I think I think if you get because he's going to play his system. Everybody's saying he shouldn't play it, but he shouldn't play it, then let him go. But if he's going to be here, he's going to play the system. So if he's going to play the system, for the system to work, you need 2 guys in there, and we have like 1.75 in Cass. But really, they need to be mobile. They need to be Cass, but they need to be mobile. Yeah, they need to have strength. They need to be able to tackle. They need to be able to be sort of all over the place. They need to be able to press. They need to be able to pass the ball. You need like two top tier midfielders in there for this thing to work the way it's supposed to work. And we don't have that. We don't have that. We literally do not have that. We don't have it. And I question as to how they thought that we can do some makeshift fucking midfield and survive a Premier League, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, I don't care what you do, but you better figure it out in January, because if you think that you're going to pass up an opportunity in January to reinforce that midfield, and you want him to survive for the rest of the season, and you want the team to finish in a good spot and get in Europe, and you think he's going to do that with this, to me it's like we could have made a boat out of like strong material, and we decided to make it out of fucking sticks and leaves, instead of using like bamboo or something that's way stronger. We use twigs. We ripped for the last 12 years. Well, yeah. Well, for me, I tell you what, probably going to take 2 decades with the way shit's going. I think we'll be like this for probably 2 decades. So we got another 8 years, in my opinion. If they don't do their job and sort shit out, and maybe we get a little bit of luck along the way as well. I think most likely we're looking at a good close to 20 years. It might be 18. Maybe it's not 20 exactly, but somewhere around there. I mean, we're 12 years in, and we're far away, and we got a lot of work to do, and we got a lot of shit that we need to fix, and there's a lot of things that need to happen, and I don't know. It just feels to me like we did 10 years, and it was really shit, and we're 2 years into the next 10 years, and it ain't looking great. It ain't looking great. And maybe you waste another year. You do 3 years. I don't know if he's going to survive this. And then he doesn't survive this. We're going to start over again. That's probably going to take another 2-3 years right out of there. How many years you talking about there? That's like 15, 16 years. So it will be a midfield 3 against another good team like Villa. I think it has to be, especially that there's no cast now. I think it was already shaping up to be like that. I mean, he did acknowledge, so, that thing was real. He did acknowledge that. I don't think he's very happy about that. I don't think he's happy about the leaks. I don't think he's happy about the fact that people know this, but I mean, he did acknowledge it. I mean, he was asked about, if United were playing in a back 4 at times, and he said, that's not for me to tell you. He said, yeah, he was asked to back 4 during the offensive phases. He said, I'll leave you to discuss that. I know you know that I've worked with the back 4 this week. So, I mean, that he essentially has confirmed that was real, and that they were on the money with that. Especially in the later stage of the second half, when he pushed the low on the right hand side, it was definitely a fullback for sure. In the attacking phase, 100%. What else did he say? Amorim on having to replace Ahmad and Mbuemo because of AFCON. He said, that is the fun part of being a manager. We will try to find a solution with the players that we have. We are ready to cope. We will try to find a way to score the goals in a different way. Well, I guess let's see what that actually entails. because I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel quite good about it, and I don't feel quite confident about it at all. I'm super worried about this period because I think that there aren't two players, whether they're playing good or not. There aren't two players. We don't have another two players like them with certain qualities. So maybe it turns out better, and we're all surprised, and maybe we're better. Maybe we're even better than before. But well, I don't know. I think it's a lot of unknown. I think it's a lot of question marks. I think it's a lot of, we just have absolutely no clue what we're gonna get. No clue what we're gonna get. Ruben said, I saw the effort of the players and the fans at 4-3. I had the feeling that we would continue to push and score another one. We tried, but it was a draw. Yeah. I mean, too many times we needed another one. We needed another one. We needed another one. I mean, the defense, if it wasn't for the defense today, like the attack really had to be like above and beyond. For us to get this the way we defended, we would have had to just score 6-7. 6-7. No, but we had to score 6, 7, 8. Just. And I think that's a bit ridiculous. I think it's a bit ridiculous to have to ask the offense to score that many goals because when your team actually does the defensive job like they're supposed to, 3 and 4 is good enough, and the game is done. Listen, I think Lemons on the free kick, I think he made a slight mistake in that he hesitated. He might have been even a step too far over, and it went to that goal. But I'm not going to go too hard into him because there was still another 3 goals that happened. And actually, he fucking saved their ass with that last. He made a couple big saves as well. There was that headed goal that he saved that was like right in front of him. That could have easily been a goal. And there was that other one at the end where they were literally inside of the box, and he made that save with his foot, and that was another goal. So he came up with some big saves, and I think today, when you look at the balance of his performance and his game, he did a lot more good than he did bad. So, I think he had a positive display. Had saves too, hand stretching. Yeah, I think he had a positive game. For me, it's always, if your positives outweigh the negatives, then I'm not going to be worried too much about the negatives. Obviously, try and clean them up. Try and make sure that they don't happen again. You don't want to be making the same mistake more than once. But in totality of the match, I think his positives far outweigh anything that you could say that was negative. And the only thing that I could think of negatively was the free kick goal. Just slightly on the position. He said Ruben said in the end we deserved more. It was a fun game for everyone at home. People, especially at Old Trafford, want to win, but they want to be inspired to see a team play good football. We did that well in certain moments. Well, I would ask Paul Scholes if he was happy, if he's happy. I would ask Paul Scholes if he's happy, because I'm not that happy. Like, was I entertained? Yeah, I think everybody was fucking entertained. I think I think everybody was entertained. It was an 8-goal game, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I wanted us to win, but a lot of his focus was on we play football that gets you up from your seat and has you on the edge. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but if we do that and we don't get results, you're gonna be happy. This is what happened. Like, we were more attacking, we scored more goals, but we were more exposed in the back and we conceded 4. So we didn't get the 3 points. So I'm not happy. I'm not happy. in a sense. Like, I'm happy. Like, I want to see them do that more attacking wise. They should be doing that all the time. But look what it led to, though, as well. Like, we defensively were exposed. But he'd probably say something about, the system or whatever it is. So you might think that we lost 2 points in the second half, but I think we lost them in the first half. But you know what, Ruben, though? Listen, I'll agree with you on that, but I think I think that's your fault. I think it's your fault because you took the gamble in that Areola changed the whole formation on the 30th minute mark. And when he changed it, the game completely changed and we struggled to cope with it. And he didn't change anything. So you took the gamble to continue playing the way you were playing, which, listen, sometimes it works out. Sometimes it's the wrong call. You should have changed it. But I think, yeah, we lost the game in the first half because he made the changes and it's a flip of a coin option. You either choose to continue to play the way you're playing, or you adjust to the adjustments they made and you change it. And you chose to keep playing the way we were going. And after the 30 minutes, we lost it because we conceded. But actually, you know what? I don't even agree with that because we still scored the second. We went back up. To me, you still kept it in the second half. And the second half was the one that was detrimental to us because we gave up 2 goals. We gave up one 50 seconds into the second half. And we gave up another one 3, 4, 5 minutes later. So that's what killed us. That's what killed us. But at the same time, we did have a lot of good opportunities in the first half. And if we scored more than the 2, we could have scored 3. We could have scored 4. So maybe he's trying to say it like that. Maybe he's trying to say, well, listen, we should have had more than the 1 or the 2. We could have easily had a couple. But, they'd probably make the same argument. They scored 1. They could have had at least 2. They could have had at least 2. Yeah, listen, these guys about the system and all this, they're wrong, bro. Bro, these guys have been banging on. Every person has said the system is rigid. The system is rigid. The system is rigid. Well, the guy that you like that plays at Bournemouth, he just said that the system is a good system and it's very flexible. So how can it be rigid if it's flexible? It's these people, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay, they don't know what they're talking about, and I'm not listening to them anymore. And I don't care what they say. They can say all they want. I'm just gonna laugh at them because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Everybody thinks they're an elite level coach. You're not. You're not some special tactician. That's why you work at a fucking factory or something or whatever. You're not a football coach, bro. You don't coach. You don't even coach at any level. You're not even a coach at fucking Sunday League. But I hop on Twitter. I'm a master tactician because I can make some video that says, oh, look at the positioning. Oh, you see this? Get out of here with your tactic videos. Yeah. Like, you want me to listen to some guy named United Cheetos? Some guy named United Cheetos on Twitter. You want me to listen to United Cheetos about tactics? And listen to United Cheetos about tactics. I've had it up to here with these tacticians that don't know shit. Because they do the same thing. Oh, the tactics this guy, the tactics that guy. They've been wrong about every single manager and the tactics. They don't know tactics. They don't know tactics if they wrote it out for them on a piece of paper and told them to read it. They know absolutely fuck all about tactics. And neither do I. I'm not a tactician. I've been saying it from day one. I don't come on here and pretend to have unlimited ball knowledge and say, yeah, the tactics. Blah. I don't do that shit. I'm not a tactician. I don't coach. I'm not a manager. I've never coached. I played the game. I watched the game. That's about it. It's different to watch the game. It's different to play it. And it's compared to when you manage it. Totally different. Totally different. That's why you can have some people that might be the best players in the world. They can't fucking coach a team. It's not the same. It's not the same. You can have brilliant vision and you can be a brilliant player, but that doesn't make you a good manager. It's totally different. Totally different. You know. Yeah, see, like, yeah, listen, for me, I think Mainu coming on, I think he just provides a better balance, possession, and I think that comes with the composure. I think he has the best composure. I think he has the highest level of composure in this football club. Out of all the players that I see that go on the pitch, I think he has the highest level of composure. I thought Mason Mount did well. I didn't think he deserved to come off the pitch out of the front three. I think Mason Mount actually was doing well in some key areas, especially picking up the ball and turning and sort of creating the attacking flow. I wouldn't have necessarily subbed him off. I think Mbuemo probably deserved to come off before him. I think Mbuemo, had a torrid time. He wasn't making things happen. His touches were off. His shots weren't good. So I would have probably taken Mbuemo off and left Mason Mount on and just did the changes the way he did the changes. But yeah, Mbuemo needs a rest. Well, he ain't getting one because he's about to go play for AFCON, so he ain't getting a rest. He's gonna go play 90 minutes, every minute, for Cameroon. So he ain't getting a rest. And you know what? He doesn't really need a rest, to be quite honest, because we're only playing one game a week, so he doesn't need a rest. You should be able to play 90 minutes once a week. I mean, what you're built for. You're professional. You should be able to handle that. So, he doesn't really need a rest. He just needs to. He just needs to refine his sort of form. He needs to refine his maybe listen, maybe he'll go over there, AFCON, maybe he'll have a good time, he'll come back sort of a little bit, maybe he'll come back in a bit of form, maybe a bit of confidence, maybe score some goals over there, has some good performances, he comes back to United and he jumps back in, and brings it with him. So we'll see how it goes, I mean, for him, but yeah, I mean, Lucky says Mason Mount, another great game. Yeah. I think Cunha, Mason Mount, pleased with Benjamin Sesko, look pace turn. The thing about Sesko is that Sesko, I don't know what we do in terms of, we need to figure out if we can improve his agility or his reactions or something, because he has like half of it. Yeah, like he can dribble the ball, but his speed is a little bit too slow for the Prem. And he had one or two moments there. He picked up the ball, he's driving at the defenders, and that's what you want him to do. That's what you want your striker to do. But it's a bit similar to Xerxes. When Xerxes came last season and he was a bit slow, like the reactions was a bit slow, and maybe even the strength is a little bit off. And I've seen him do it in the Bundesliga. Like, I've seen him take that ball. I've seen him sort of drive at the defenders and cut through the defense. And he creates his own opportunity. And, he gets in through on goal and he scores the goal. But the Prem, this is why. The Prem is not the Prem is on a different level to every league. I don't care what anybody has to say. You know, these other Prem, these other non-Prem fans. It's not. The speed and the physicality is on a completely different level. The Bundesliga doesn't compare. You know, now style of football is different, and if you have one style of football playing against another style of football, you know, it can beat it. But in terms of just levels of strength and speed, it's on its own. So because people would be like, well, why don't the English teams win all the you know, the Champions League and whatever or whatever? I'm like, well, number one, it's squad, how much the squad is built out, and then you're talking about two styles of play individual. And so, but there's a reason why England has fucking the most teams in all European competitions. There's a reason for that. So they might not be winning it. I think it's a bit different. You got to get over the line. And also there's some, you know, football history, heritage into that. But there's a reason why England has all of these teams. It's the country with the most teams in European competition. There's a reason for that. I think he shouldn't make the last two substitutes. Killed a little bit of the momentum. Well, I think he might have made it solely out of just, I mean, Luke Shaw looked fucking dead. Yeah? Like, Luke Shaw looked like he was about to have, you know, like he couldn't breathe. So, and I guess, I mean, maybe even the Xerxes thing was, I don't know what it was, you know. I don't know if he was looking because he was trying to get something different and Bummo didn't really have the best of games, and you know, so I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe it killed the momentum, but I feel like those things sort of go either way, you know. If it works, he's a genius. If it doesn't work, it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have done it because maybe it killed the momentum, you know. I don't know. I think, listen, I think he made changes. I think my one thing is that I think he made it too late. I think he and the reason why he made it too late, I understand why, is because he made the decision. Like I said, it's sort of like a flip of a coin. You have two decisions in that situation. You either make the change when they make the change to adjust to them, or you know, sort of believe in your way of playing and you try to like persevere through it. And you know, I think the flip of a coin, he got the call wrong. He got the call wrong, and he rectified it a little bit, but there's always that what if factor of, you know, if only he made it sooner, maybe, you know, would have definitely flipped in our way. I kind of feel like, you know, if he did do it a lot sooner than he did, maybe we wouldn't have conceded all of those goals. We probably still would have conceded one or two of them, but maybe we wouldn't have ended up conceding four. Maybe we would have just ended up conceding 3 or 2. You know, so I mean, it is what it is. I guess, you know, there's another match coming. We'll be seeing what happens with that. That match, by the way, is on because now I think we're done with the Monday games, yeah? Which is, thank God. Because I don't really like Monday games. So, what are we looking at here? I mean, Lucky says, proud the way we played. Listen, the attack, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think everybody kind of says, like, this is what we want to see from them the whole time. I mean, when I doing the watch along, the first 30 minutes, I said, this is exactly how we're supposed to play. This is how I know that we're supposed to play. Like, this is what he wants. This is how it's supposed to play. This is why I've been saying and advocating, like, I know what he wants. We're not getting it, and it's coming from the fucking players on the pitch. And it's the point proven because, again, I don't think... Listen, there's nothing radical that he did for them to all of a sudden do this today in terms of attack. Yeah? He played the same players. It's the same system. It's the same formation. It's the same style. The only difference was the players went out there and in an attacking sense, they executed it to a certain level. That's all that is. And maybe that the opposition that we played, you know, gave us more space. But other than that, when I'm seeing the players, when I'm seeing Bruno and I'm seeing Cunha and I'm seeing Mount and I'm seeing Embuemo and Diallo, and they're doing one touch, confidence. They know where to pass the ball. They know where to run. They know where their teammates are going. They're giving the ball. They're not holding it. They're not stopping, turning around, and passing it backwards. This is what I'm saying. It's the players when they're on the pitch with the ball. It's not the system. This guy trains them every week. They've been training this way. They know what they're supposed to do. But when that whistle blows, it's time for the players to do their fucking job. And actually, you know, what you've been working on, you got to go out there and do it. You're the one on the field. You're the one with the ball in your feet. It's you have to take the onus on yourself. You got to take the responsibility and make it happen. The manager's done 75% of his job, which is he's prepped you all week. He's showed you the tactics. You've worked in it in training. He's shown you video. He's went over the video. He's detailed exactly, you know, what's going to happen. Now you got to go and do what you got to do. And today they did that, though. Today they did that. So they can do it when they decide to do it, because we just watched them do it. But when they haven't done it, it's because they just didn't go out there and do it. You know. What not pleased about some defense game didn't kick or shutting down space? Well, I think one of the big problems that we had, was one of the issues that we had was at some point we were getting pinned in. Okay, and we were doing okay defensively in terms of we were cutting out some of the balls, getting ahead to it, but we were just clearing the ball, and we were clearing the ball back to them, and there was fucking nobody up there. So all that was happening was we're getting the ball and we're kicking it straight back to them, and the ball is only going to the midfield, so they're already in our half. So as soon as you do that, the second wave is coming back in. You know what I mean? Because they're staying up, and we don't got anybody to pressure them. And I think we did that too many times. We did that too many times where, like, I don't know if we had to try and play it out of the back more or something, but there was too many times where we just, like, picked up the ball, the player maybe had a little bit of space, and he just cleared it. You know, he just kicked it up the field to nobody because there's nobody there. You know, in those situations, we had to do something different with the ball. We will look other side defense game. My issues defense didn't shut it down, came back. Well, I mean, we were very open. I mean, we would give the ball away, and we weren't transitioning properly to defense, that we weren't getting enough people back at times. So yeah, listen, the attacking display for me was good. The defensive display today was not good at all. So yeah, I mean, you know what we could have used today? You know, let's put it this way. If we played the way we played attacking-wise today, and if we had Rio and Vidic, and maybe pick one midfielder, we dominate this game. You know, we dominate this game. We're not conceding 4 back there with Rio and Vidic. We're not conceding 4. That midfield's not going to be dysfunction even if you get fucking Darren Fletcher. You don't even need Paul Scholes. Even if you get Fletcher. Even if you get maybe Park Ji-sung or some shit, you put him in there. I think with any of those guys, you get one of those guys in the midfield and you have Rio and Vidic, we absolutely destroy these guys, you know? But this is the thing. We don't have players like that, do we? You know what I mean? We don't have players like that. We don't have, you know, we're missing a bit of experience in the back there. And not to slate the young guys. I still believe the young guys will come good. But this is sort of their process, you know? They're going to have games where they will not do the best, or they will struggle, or they will make mistakes because they're not experienced. They're just not experienced. They're going to make mistakes. They're not going to be able to keep up that form that these, you know, guys that are 26, that have played a shit ton of games at the highest level, can provide you. Or, you know, you expect them to provide on a more consistent basis. So, you know, I expect them to come good, but in due time. And, you know, there's a process that you got to go through with these guys. They're going to have ups and downs. They're going to have some, you know, even Aiden Heaven for me, like in the game specifically, Aiden Heaven, like there was moments in the game where he did good. There was moments in the game where he did bad. It's sort of like the story of what they are. You know, they're not like the consistency in terms of it wasn't like he was 100% throughout the entire time he was playing. He wasn't. So this is what you get with these sort of younger, lesser experienced players. You know, and it's not to like kill them, but it's hard to rely on them all the time, 100%. Because there's times that they are going to let you down. It's just natural. It happens. You know, not every guy, you know, I mean, even you look at the superstars, like Mbappe's gone through periods where he's been fucking, you know, shit not happening. It's happened to Vinicius. It's happened to Lamine Yamal. You know, one minute he's scoring a goal a game. The next minute, you know, you don't hear from him at all. You know, these things happen to these young guys. They're not going to be able to hold the fire forever. You just have to keep it balanced. You got to give them opportunities when you can, but it's I still think it's very hard to rely on them heavily, and just say you are my starter, now and forever, you know, and to leave them in that position. So we will learn Aiden Heaven and Lenny Orr. Yeah, I think. Listen, I think they have a bright future, and I think they'll be fine. You know, I think they'll continue to grow and develop, and in due time they'll become like very strong, very good options. They're getting a lot of experience now as well. I mean, Lenny's getting a lot of, you know, game time, and Evan's gonna probably continue to get game time as well, at least for the time being, for now. And I think, you know, if we continue sort of on this path, this trajectory, I think in about 2-3 years time, I think, you know, you'll look at them and you'll say they're two very solid guys. Like, you know, we can rely on them a lot more now, and they'll give you confidence, you know, when they're back there. But yeah, listen, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for getting involved in the chat. Thank you to everybody that smashed the like button. I appreciate it very much. Today is Monday. We will be going live tomorrow. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, we will be live. We'll sort of do sort of like a, you know, an aftermath of the game and any other news that comes out. So, yeah, we'll be going live 8 p.m. UK. So make sure you get there. I'll have the stream scheduled sort of early for it. So I'll try to get it up, you know, a good 45 minutes before. I don't know if the notifications are working, because sometimes YouTube is weird, but they should be sending out notifications. And they should be sending out notifications, you know, they should be sending out notifications 30 minutes before we go live and when we go live, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know how that works, because sometimes I do see it sends out notifications, but sometimes I notice that it doesn't send out notifications. So just be on the lookout, and you know, if you don't see the notifications, we'll go live tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK. And we'll see whatever the day brings us, and we'll you know, we'll have another discussion about it, and you know, I'll sort of take a few hours and some time to digest the match a little bit, digest a couple things, and come with some other thoughts and opinions for tomorrow as well. So, and then we'll see, because you know, that other match is I forgot. I was checking when the match was, and I forgot to say when the match was. That other match is on the 21st, and then obviously we play on Boxing Day. So the 21st is 6 days from now. So what is that, a Sunday? 21st, yeah, it's on Sunday. So Sunday, and it's during okay, like midday. Well, midday for me. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of the sort of the week entails. Tomorrow we'll be live 8 p.m. UK. The stream should be scheduled. I'll have it up by, I don't know, like 7:15 p.m. The stream should be up there. So if you guys want to, you know, jump in maybe 10 minutes before it starts up, get in there, you know, build sort of a you know, pre-live thing going on. Get in there, hit the like buttons early, throw in some comments early to start off the show. That's always good and well and very much appreciated. It helps the channel as well. So if you liked, thank you. If you subscribed, thank you. And if you got involved in the chat, thank you. And if you just watched, thank you as well. So everybody be good. Have a good night. Stay safe. And we'll see each other and speak with each other tomorrow. Until then, take care.